What's going on, everybody? Welcome into NBC's DFS and betting preview. It's Monday Night Football. We have another doozy here. It is the Broncos once again, this time taking on the Chargers in Los Angeles. Alongside me, Kyle Dvorchak and Lawrence Jackson. Kyle tweets here, Lord, don't lose. Kyle, I'll introduce you here because you're too cool to put your Twitter handle today. How are we doing, man?
I think our stupid CMS, I had to clear all my history, and now I'm struggling to find every website I used to use, and it's not, dude, it is brutal. I like, you know, old people say like, oh, kids these days couldn't survive in the wild. Dude, I can't survive when I clear my history. Of course, I get far on the way to the forest.
Yeah,
Lawrence, what's going on with you today?
I'm feeling for you on that, dog. Like I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, man, wild week 6 so far. So nothing we see here will surprise me tonight. We know the Broncos need it. Obviously, it's not a must-win game for them, but you know they just need it for the morale. They've been looking bad, so a win here on the road versus the Chargers could definitely do them some good. So I'm ready to get it going.
You know who the Broncos have up next, right? The biggest look-ahead spot in all of football. They're playing the New York Jets next week.
Oh, God.
So
they're going to lose. That's why they need to win this game.
That's not even a guaranteed win. Yeah. I mean, as someone who bet the Packers last week and put that 12-0 ATS and moneyline streak on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, I mean, the Jets, man, they just continue to find ways. They got the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. It's looking like odds-on favor so far. Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner. Who would have thunk it? But this game tonight, I mean, what's this, the third time we've seen the Broncos on primetime now? Yeah. I told you guys right before the show, all the sharps are on the Broncos tonight. The lines come down from 4.5 to 4. Over-under is 45.5, was open at 46.5. The one thing I will note is everyone likes the Broncos because they played on Thursday night and they've had an additional 2 or 3 days of rest, which probably will go a long way with Russell Wilson. So that's pretty much everyone's objective as to why they're betting the Broncos tonight against the Chargers, and the Chargers usually beat themselves. Do you guys have any opinion on either side or the total in this game?
Yeah, I know, rest is like a true mathematical advantage that can be measured, but problem wasn't that the Broncos were tired in those previous games. They looked like they were perfectly conditioned cardio-wise to be playing. It was that they have terrible coaching, and Russell Wilson isn't as good as we thought. I don't know. Some sick part of me still wants to keep backing them, but I think it's just that I can't accept that Russell Wilson was legitimately one of the NFL's best quarterbacks for a decade. Like almost 10 years straight, he was the most efficient quarterback year in, year out. He did that on a limited sample, and maybe now we're kind of seeing that that was a sort of curated sample of who he really is. When you expand his bounds, he's not as good as we thought. Even if that is true, I just... my heart of hearts, I can't believe that the last 10 years I watched Russell Wilson play and be good are just complete garbage. I can't, that makes it a waste of my personal time to have watched that. So I want to be back in the Broncos, but like they're going to jam it in my face and have terrible fourth down calls, horrible fumbles, all that stuff again.
Well, you see what you had to do is you got to lay off for a week or two. Then they'll get back rolling. You gotta like reverse jinx it and do something like that. You know, use the reverse psychology on yourself. Lay off them real quick. Like they coming off a horrible loss in which when both teams is bad and you the one that lose, that ain't good. And that's what happened to them last week. Who lost to the Colts, and the Colts offense bounced back in a major way this week. So ain't no telling what could happen versus this Chargers defense, which certainly they gonna be giving it up, especially in the run game. The Chargers either blow the game or they get this close to doing it. So it's there for the taking.
Yeah, interesting about that too. You were talking a little bit about the loss they took last week, offense looking bad. And this game is the last divisional game of the week, obviously last game of the week, but divisional unders have been 21-10 this season. We had 3 of them yesterday, and they were interesting games because the Colts and Jaguars are one of them. Normally an under type of game, and then we saw 34-27, 28 points, something like that. Those teams exploded. I was on the under. That sucked. And then we had the Eagles and Cowboys, total of 42, closed at 43, landed on 43 exactly. And then the other one, the one that we thought would be a high-scoring game, the Cardinals and Seahawks. a total of 50.5,
Yeah.
ended 19-9. Seahawks defense, elite, right? But this game, I don't know what to make of it because I do give the credit to the Broncos having the rest, but Russell Wilson, his last 14 primetime starts, dreadful. 3-11 against the spread. I mean, he hasn't got it done at all, this season included. Are you believe in the Chargers this much, or is this game just a pass on the spread overall?
Go ahead.
Broncos country. Let's ride. One last time. I mean,
the
Broncos.
One last time.
You did not sound happy about that right now.
I'm
Kyle.
not. They're gonna put it in my face. I know.
You sound like how I sound when I have to start Kyle Pitts every week.
It is. It's like one of those things where like
you got to study.
I think the process is probably right with the Broncos here because they have been snake bitten by things that you would think can't keep happening. They can't have this many terrible fourth down decisions, both kick or not, or like terrible play calls. They can't have this many awful penalties. I think the penalties have also started to regress. They were like by far and away the most penalized team through the first 3 weeks. Looking at the total season, they're still one of the most penalized teams, but it hasn't been as egregious recently. You would think these things can't keep happening to them. Maybe they can. Like, definitely teams are more mistake prone than other teams. Poorly coached teams are going to do these things more often than not. Teams with great quarterbacks can overcome adversity, and Russell Wilson is certainly not great right now. That's no one will argue that. I just think he's still decent, I think. So, I'll go with the Broncos here. I don't know, man. It's tough. But I think Broncos the right choice.
Or should we hop into the chat? You need strong opinion with the Chargers? Should we hop into chat? And
let's get into the chat, man. Let's see what they're talking about, man.
All right, let's get it live and lit, man. I saw a good one off the rip. Do you want to say what's up, Ricardo? Shout out to you too. Bandit, a faithful in here. The DraftKings promo got Justin Herbert to throw one plus passing touchdown, something he's done in 36 of his last 37 games. But the Broncos have only allowed one passing touchdown in the past 4 games. Since week 1. So very interesting promo here. Could be a little trickery, but I mean, when you're getting it, at plus 100, what's not to like? Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, obviously.
You gotta take it. In any fashion, in this day's NFL, I'm trusting the offense, especially when it's this offense. I'm gonna trust that over the defense. And like you said, it's plus 100. It probably a pump fake, but I don't care.
I wonder if they think about that, because like obviously this is like a marketing tactic to get you to throw like you said last week, the limit on these types of things. Like
it's just like, hey, you could win $100 if Patrick Mahomes complete one pass.
Yeah, but I wonder if they do think about like, well, maybe
then they go live at the Chiefs right after that, and then they get it right back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if they do think about like, I don't know, there's a chance Justin Herbert doesn't throw a touchdown. So they choose this one versus some other, very obvious, the 1 yard Patrick Mahomes kind of thing. But yeah, obviously, you take this for whatever the limit they give you is.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you're going to have between a $25 or $10 to $50 bet. Some of those people get 25. If you're on DraftKings, people ask, how do you get bigger bets? Because I saw somebody had a max bet of $250 on this, which sounds luxurious, but it depends on how much you bet in your dynasty rewards. So when you get those little coins in DraftKings, the more you have is the more rewards you get on those free bets.
I gotta hop into a state where DK is legal, because I have like the second highest tier of rewards. So they might let me get 200 down on 150.
There you go. And then he doesn't throw any. Austin Eckler gets both rushing touchdowns.
That'd be so nice.
So Victor says, what's up, Victor? We got a good question here from Jason kicking off. Melvin Gordon or Cortland Sutton? Tough one.
I take Cortland Sutton. We saw more Mike Boone than I'm comfortable with last week. I still like Melvin Gordon this week. There's not, we're down to very few decisions left to make.
That often the Chargers run defense though, I don't know.
Yeah. Chargers
like they're the worst versus running backs in fantasy.
They used to be
running backs.
They were dead last in EPA last year, and now they're up to like 25th.
Melvin Gordon was questionable. He's obviously gonna play now, we know. But if he hadn't played, I feel like Mike Boone could have done some like Deion Jackson type stuff. Tonight. Even if they lose the game,
Mike Boone still might.
Yeah, he definitely looked a little spry out there. He was explosive last week.
Solid. He's a good team preseason guy. He always cuts it up in the preseason. Guys who are like
good team
just good enough.
guy.
Yeah, guys who are just good enough to make a 53-man roster, but not good enough to be held out of the final preseason game, always crush it. It's the perfect balance. I like Sutton. Sutton's dominating the targets. We expect them to be forced to pass in this game just because they are underdogs. So I'm not strong Sutton though. Gordon's a decent play too.
Yeah, I will know Mike Boone over the last 2 weeks, 31% snap share, then a 49% snap share.
49 is troubling for Gordon. That's
Melvin Gordon.
That's a straight up committee.
100%.
Yeah, and I wrote about this in my article because I'm on the Broncos team total under 20.5. I don't feel as confident about it now with all the line movement coming towards the Broncos and then the Chargers under also moving down. But Melvin Gordon's snap share the week before Javonte Williams got injured was a 45% snap share, 45.1%, against the Colts, 45.6%. So he didn't even see an increase in snap share with no Javonte Williams. That's definitely concerning. But I do want to point this out and ask you guys how much stock you put into the Chargers rush defense compared to who they faced this season, because they faced the Raiders. All right, Josh Jacobs, yeah. Kansas City Chiefs, they found some success. Then you got James Robinson and Etienne. You got Damian Pierce and Burkhead, and then you got Hunt and Chubb. So honestly, it's a pretty tough gauntlet.
Those are legitimately some of the best running teams. I can't believe you're Josh Jacobs. I'm
about to say the same thing.
It was the beginning of the year. It was week 1. We were Josh Jacobs. Week 2 and 3, we were like Josh Jacobs. Yeah, that's how it was.
I was definitely Josh Jacobs going into week 1. He's proven me wrong. He's really.
I'll be real. Even because week 1 he only had 57 yards, but it was on 10 carries. And I was just like, why not more? And well, we got more now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely curious because if the Broncos can't run tonight, I don't know if they're going to be throwing tonight either. So that's an interesting one. This one, Crazy Gideon got KJ Hamler under 1.5 receptions. That's actually very interesting. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this because the most bet props at BetMGM tonight, of course, Austin Eckler scoring touchdowns left and right, first touchdown, anytime touchdown. But KJ Hamler, over 22.5 receiving yards, is one of the most bet props tonight, which kind of blew my mind. So what do you guys think about that and the under 1.5 receptions? You telling or fading the public, essentially, because Crazy's fading the public?
I'll fade that. Only for these 2 reasons. The aggressiveness in which KJ Hamler threw that helmet on that field after Russell Wilson missed him wide open on that last play, right?
That makes sense. Why people are betting it. That makes sense.
Because it could go either way. But then the coach was like, well, we need to get him involved. He has earned, getting more looks or whatever. So whenever a coach says something, man, it's never nothing in between. It's either you could take it straight to the bank or you emptying out the pockets and it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So for this, how mad he was, and then the coach came out and said, we got to get you the ball a little bit. He get 2 catches. The young man could get 2 catches.
You think he'll go for 22.5 yards, Kyle Lawrence?
Yeah, I don't. Has he gotten 2 catches in a game this year? He has not gotten 2 catches in the
game
this year. No, he hasn't. He has 1 for 55 2 weeks ago. I do remember that one. And
there go your yards right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of player he is.
65 yards on the whole year and 2 catches.
Yeah, last week 1 for 10. And I think it's specifically because of the way he's used. He has like an ADOT over 20. It's on 5 targets, I think, which doesn't really tell you much about him. But it's KJ Hamler. We don't have to see a large sample to know he's going to have one of the highest ADOTs among these like third receivers in the league. But that makes it really difficult when you're getting, what's he going to cap out at? 3 targets, 4 targets? When you're only getting that many looks and they're 20 to 25 yards downfield, getting over on your 1.5 receptions is going to be legitimately difficult. And he could also go under on this, get 1 and go over on the yards. Yeah, I almost took under 1.5 too. Yeah. I almost took under 1.5 for one of my bets, but I do think to me it was a little difficult because he ran a ton of routes last week. He was like very clearly separated himself as the third receiver, and this is a game where I expect him to have to pass a little more. So I ended up not taking a side. I think I would take under though if I had to.
it's always that low number that drives me in there. Like it happened a couple years ago, Ravens versus Bills in the playoffs, and Dez Bryant was at half a catch. I took that over. He had 2 targets and didn't catch one of them. Half a catch, man.
The 1.5 and 2.5 lines are the toughest bets sometimes in the NFL, to be honest with you. KJ Osborne over 2.5 receptions looks beautiful almost every single game with the Vikings.
Every game.
When you have Kirk Cousins throwing you the ball, who knows what's going to happen? But KJ Hamler did have his most routes run this past week, like Kyle said, second highest snap share. So definitely was something worth noticing. But it wasn't a Colts game where they couldn't run the ball. They had to throw the ball continually. So do put some stock into that. But I like this question, Kyle. What's it like to win 20 racks? Did you win 20,000 this weekend, or was this some previous experience?
No, this was this weekend. I got second, like the big college football DFS tournament. I was in first for 50 a few different times, but couldn't hold it down. Who
was the one that held you back? What player was it that you want to tell them on live YouTube that you hate them? Who is it?
Well, the thing is, my lineup was all fire emojis, so there's not really anyone. It was the running back, is it like Jahmyr Gibbs or something for Alabama?
From Alabama.
He had he was the one who did me in as in he jumped me. He had like a 30-yard. I saw the play too. It was nice. He earned it. He beat me fair and square. Like a nice 30-yard.
You didn't have him in your lineup?
Yeah, he was the guy who jumped me for first. Had him. No, I'll just shout out dude whose last name is Hyatt for I think Tennessee, had like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, you had him in.
Yeah, him and Hendon Hooker absolutely torched.
Oh man, you gotta send them like 2,500 each, man. Actually, no, they got NIL.
They're taking care of it.
They got it. Yeah, you're right.
2 years ago, NIL. I owe them a little Venmo receipt. Now they're still far richer than I'll ever be.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, we had our college football show, and everyone was on Jahmyr Gibbs' rushing yards, which opened up at 81.5, closed at 95.5. So everyone was like, "Yeah, he's going to go off." But 52,
yeah, I had a lot of them too because he looked like complete jam. It just happened to be in the best lineup I had. He wasn't in there. Would have been like the nuts if I did, but
man, I got to get on the DFS game a little bit more. I haven't played in a while, but you got me motivated now, Kyle. Not gonna lie. So Marquise Brown, dropping him because D-Hop is back. D-Hop is scoring a touchdown on Thursday. Just want to say it here. That's one of my early bets. For Garrett Wilson, Romeo Doubs, or George Pickens. Shout out to George Pickens.
What did George Pickens do versus the Bucks?
Like not enough because it was Chase Claypool season. Unreal.
Oh, yeah. Chase Claypool went 7 for 96 in the touchdown. That'll happen again in 7 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Pickens had 3 receptions, 6 targets, 27 yards, along with 14.
Yeah, I like that. Prior the 2 games before that. The 2 games before that, he had 8 targets each in each of the last 2 games, 6 catches and above 80 yards in those. They'll go against the Dolphins coming up. That's a matchup where he could do some things as well. So here I would definitely go George Pickens over Romeo Doubs, Garrett Wilson. No one's catching passes for the Jets. Now that Zach Wilson, they playing good football, good complimentary football, but ain't no receivers catching no passes. And Corey Davis is still the leading wide receiver on that team after 6 games, right? Romeo Doubs, the Packers offense is in disarray. He saw 9 targets, but he only turned that into 4 catches for 21 yards. So that's everything on everybody on the Packers offense is hit or miss now. Like,
lots of misses too. They're like hit or miss again.
Yeah, it ain't no hits. Robert Tonyan was the hit. He was the hit because the receivers didn't even have time for their routes to develop. You have Romeo Doubs, man, because even if I was on go a Packers receiver, it probably would be Alan Lazard because he's the most consistent receiver. Randall Cobb is out for a little while now, so I forgot about that too. Maybe Dobbs.
And Christian Watson, they talked about shutting him down for 4 weeks, putting him on IR because he just can't get past this hamstring issue.
Christian Watson?
Yeah, it was a quote from LaFleur. I don't think they've done it yet unless I missed like a Saturday transaction. But he was like, yeah, we might shut him down, which means throw him on IR for at least 4 weeks because he had the hamstring issue that sidelined him for either week 2 or 3. came back, and it immediately popped up again.
Yeah,
so
right,
he clearly
right.
shouldn't have come back from it. So they could be out without 2 guys. This question's brutal.
Yeah, this is a good one. Any opinions on this? And we got to get Kyle to answer Dave's question here because Dave says I need a Denver tight end tonight. I can't even pronounce this last name, but I know you can.
Greg Dvorchak.
Oh, this one's easy. If I know Albert
Dulcich.
Okue-Bunam, Greg Dulcich, the first C is S. It's Dulcich. I think. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, Greg Dulcich.
I guess I've never asked Greg personally how to say his name, so I can't tell you for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Greg Dulcich. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the guy. I mean, they scratched Albert O for him. I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of possibility that Eric Saubert, who was already starting for them last week, he ran more routes than Albert O. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they have Dulcich tonight, but he clearly plays a number 2 role. But you're just not capturing any sort of ceiling by playing Eric Saubert, because at best he's probably in a committee. I think Dulcich could actually come in, play all the snaps, and he was a good pass catching prospect coming out of college. So yeah, I mean he's like a windmill dunk in DFS tonight. He's like 200. He's the minimum on DraftKings. So
yeah.
All right, easy one there. We said don't drop Hollywood. He'll be back in 6 weeks. We got a question for Latavius Murray here. His line is actually 15.5 rushing yards, Mr. Bubbles says. So you guys want any stock of Latavius Murray tonight, or you pass on him altogether because of the running back committee there?
Yeah,
I
wouldn't even mess with no Murray props. That's the third running back.
Yeah, and they were never using. I mean, they hardly ever used a third running back up until they still haven't technically used a third running back. Maybe things change without Javonte, but they didn't last week, right? So to me, until we see them use a third running back, I'd always bet under on the third running back who he might not play a snap tonight. Mike Boone was playing almost no snaps up until Javonte got hurt. So.
You're right. Exactly. I feel like the reason this line is at 15.5 is because of what he did week 4 against the Vikings, just chilling. Then he came in and went 57 yards and a touchdown. If he don't do that in the Broncos, because you could imagine they had no Kamara. If he would have just got up off the couch, signed with the team, we'd all just see it as a depth signing, which Kyle alluded to. That's probably what it is. So it's not even what I would mess with. Go look at the Mike Boone and the Melvin Gordon props.
Yeah.
Imagine they make Mike Boone the third running back now.
It could happen. This dumb stuff happens all the time.
Imagine they do that.
Hackett's the coach. Anything could happen here.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I mean, this guy's not going to make it. But we'll see what happens tonight. They definitely got plenty of running backs. I don't know. The Chargers defense doesn't look good on paper, but I think it's much better than people anticipate. But what do you guys think about this one? Does Chris have a chance to walk away with a victory? Is he taking an L tonight?
Yeah, great chance.
I was going to say, I'm trying to think and do some quick back of the napkin math. If you're not a favorite, it's close. I almost think because it's full PPR, Eckler an absolute jam in full PPR, Herbert a jam in all formats. You might be a favorite. You might be the favorite, not the underdog.
Give them worst case scenario. Let's say Melvin Gordon get 15. So you add
that as the worst case scenario. He's give him 15 points. So that he'll be down 31, and now he needs 31. He's still solid. That's even if Melvin Gordon get 20, you need 40. Now we kind of pushing it, but we know Justin Herbert could go out there any day and get you 30 off the rip. So yeah, there's no realistic score you could throw out for Melvin Gordon where I say you don't have a chance. Eckler has 3 touchdown, 100 yards through either the ground or the air chance any night. So I think you're a favorite here. I honestly think you're a favorite.
Yeah, that would be definitely a tough loss, especially Lincoln's pointing out that Melvin Gordon is now up to plus 500 for an anytime touchdown tonight. That is
really
ridiculous. I have to look at that one.
Maybe
it's first touchdown.
Yeah, gotta be first.
Definitely.
BetMGM has Gordon plus 750 first, but only plus 100 anytime. So that is either trying to say first, or maybe there's a promo out there that I don't know about. So
I was about to say that's a good deal. I don't know if I think it's going to happen. That's a good deal. How do we feel about Gerald Everett the rest of the season? Any opinions?
Same as any other tight end,
Yep.
not Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, man. You gonna get some weeks, you ain't gonna get some weeks, despite the offense that he plays in. Just picture it like Jared Cook the past couple years. He had some weeks here and there when he would go off. Gerald Everett, little different style of player, but he'll have his days and he'll have his knots.
No opinions. I have no opinions on him, Tyler Conklin, Irv Smith,
Tyler Conklin,
Hayden Hurst, any of these guys. I have no opinions on
Zach Gentry.
Zach Gentry.
we got dropped Tyler Conklin.
I don't even know if he played last week. I mean, 2 weeks ago he didn't do anything. I assume he didn't do anything this week.
Nah, he had 1 catch, 16 yards, and CJ Uzoma had 2 catches, 17 yards. By the way, those were the second and third best receivers for the Jets on Sunday.
Is that real? Jesus.
It went Corey Davis, CJ Uzoma, then Tyler Conklin, the dude we talking about dropping.
I'm going to be sick. That's horrible.
And they whooped the Packers.
Now I see why Elijah Moore was pissed.
Yeah. You look on the Yahoo app, he don't even show up on the stat sheet. They ain't even give him zeros.
That's how PFF does their stats too. If you don't get a target, they don't show your routes run stats.
You could at least hook my man Elijah Moore up with triple zeros. 0 targets, 0 catch, 0 yards, 0 everything. But he wasn't 0 on his Twitter though. He said a little something there.
Oh, hey, you gotta get receivers, man. They can be prima donnas. They want the ball, but that's how
he took it in stride, though. He took it in stride.
I don't even think he's being a prima donna. He should
just
get
want the ball.
something.
But, it's reasonable. He's saying a thing that's reasonable. He's like, guys, I'd really love to catch one pass to the next Sunday. I love that we're winning,
but they won, though. They won.
Yeah.
All right, before we answer this one, honest opinion: are you guys happy the New York Jets are winning football games? Yes or no?
I am.
No,
it's fun. I live out here.
No.
I think because now clearly the Jets gonna play the Giants in the Super Bowl. That's just gonna happen. I saw something today. I can't remember where I saw it, but this the Giants' first time being 5-1 since 2009, and in that season they win 8-8.
Wow.
I assumed that was 2009 was one of the Super Bowl years because they were good.
No, because 8-8 they didn't get in.
Yeah,
9
exactly.
and 7 is when they had the Super Bowl year.
Yeah, just whenever you said the last time they were this and that, I was like, oh, this sentence has to end in and they won the Super Bowl. No, it went the other way. So quickly.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna have to see what the rest of the New York Giants football schedule looks like now, because that actually not saying that's gonna happen. I really like the Giants. I prefer the Giants to be winning over the Jets, but I know way too many Jets fans, and it's just been unrealistic since Mark Sanchez was in town.
I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. I like him.
Yeah, the Giants have the Jaguars and Seahawks before their bye week. They could legit be a 7-1 team.
Yeah.
Then they opened up with Houston.
7-1 team. They could go to the Super Bowl.
Their schedule is bad. Like they got Houston and Detroit out the break. Then they go with Dallas, Washington, Philly, Washington, Minnesota, Indianapolis, Philly.
They're going
Giants
to
win 11 or 12 games.
Championship game.
The only two teams that you're like they'll probably get boat raced are just the Eagles twice. But like getting to face the rest of the NFC East, you take that.
Yeah, I'm with Ricardo. Zach Wilson's horrible, but he's looking good right now. But he's horrible overall.
He's doing his job.
And then he's doing his job. That's why I said right now he looks good, but overall I think he's horrible.
Well, I ain't.
Mr. Bubbles loves to see bad teams doing good. Depends. Jets and Browns, I prefer you always to be bad. But that's just my opinion here. So let's get back on track with Mike Williams. Over under 67.5 receiving yards tonight. Patrick Surtain's on him. If I was betting a player prop tonight, I think this is the player prop that I would be on, is Mike Williams under receiving yards. It was at 70.5 earlier, so I know some sharps are on it. I think we could see some lockdown. Yeah, under 67. It's just little. It seems too good to be true with how he's been playing lately.
Yeah, right. Because the 3 of the last 4 games over 110 yards.
Yeah, his numbers should be higher.
Cleveland, Houston, and Kansas City are those teams. We saw Kansas City, one of their corners, get toasted twice yesterday. So yeah, Patrick Surtain, that boy, so if he gonna follow Mike Williams, I'm gonna say under. If that's what he's going to do, I'm gonna say under, despite the past 3 of the 4 games, 110 yards, which obviously is way over this here over. I'll go Patrick Surtain over Mike Williams, because Mike Williams could give you that 6 for 15 like he did a couple weeks ago too. So yeah, give me Surtain.
Also take the over. But that's just because my math brain is like, cornerbacks don't matter. Who cares? He targets times yards per target equals certain amount of yards. And he's been crushing it lately. So, and it's not like we haven't seen. I mean, Surtain's really good. Like, I actually do. Like, I watch him and think he's very good. But it's not like there haven't been players who have been able to get there on him. Like, we saw Deebo Samuel have a decent game. It would have been over on this prop. Devontae Adams got easily over this prop. And I think to me, it's more so that when Cortland Sutton is going to go out and probably easily lead his team in targets, you're okay with Surtain shutting him down for a quarter, a half, because if he gets 8 or 9 targets, that's still a lot of targets. So he
in those three of the last 4 games where he went for 110, he had receptions of 38, 50, and 39. So he had those long receptions in those games. So where I'm coming from is because Mike Williams could get a lot of catches on Surtain, yeah. But is he going to get that big one? That would be because that's going to make the difference between the over and the under right there.
Yeah, I agree. I know some hot player prop bettors were talking about Justin Herbert's under longest completion tonight. I told them I'm not going to give you a strong opinion on that one because this is Justin Herbert's arm we're talking about here.
Yeah, and that could be Josh Palmer.
Anybody could break one too. You could catch a 25-yard pass, break a tackle, and that's the over on the longest completion. But
Chargers are playing super underneath with their passing attack right now. Like, especially like it's even almost makes less sense with Keenan Allen being out. You would think like, dude, you have Mike Williams 12, and they've been getting there with Mike Williams, but for the most part, every single other one of their players is like, let's just run 5-yard slants and 5-yard outs. And it's not like the worst. They're not a terrible offense, but I do think, Justin Herbert has the dynamic arm, whatever. He has the dynamic arm to he can route people on 30, 40-yard throws. And they don't really seem to want to do that this year. It's sort of the way the Chiefs turtled last year as teams started playing more cover 2 against them. That's sort of what we're seeing from the Chargers right now is their teams are attempting and they're kind of capitulating to just keep everything within 10 yards.
Yeah, I want to hit on this question here from KFC8 because the Chargers have 2 kickers. It's pretty interesting. I don't know what the situation is that they're using one for a certain time, but Dustin Hopkins and some guy with the last name of Bertolette is the other kicker who kicked in the last game for them. So I don't know if I'm very comfortable in that. And we've seen in the past, Justin Herbert and the Chargers are one of those teams reinventing the wheel with going for it on 4th down. So I'd probably stay away from this one. Do you guys have an opinion on the kickers tonight?
Who is this kicker? I know Dustin Hopkins is active tonight. Taylor
Bertolette. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's active. He's on the roster. He kicked a field goal for them. He's one of 3 or 1 of 1 from field goal, 3 of 3. Yeah.
If Derwin James was kicking field goals, I would take the over.
Does he kick field goals?
Nah, but I figure he's just such a good athlete that he should probably.
Well, like what? Wasn't it Justin Reed? Had to kick some field goals and stuff.
That's why I said it, because of Justin Reed. I was like, let me just pick another safety.
Derwin James. What do you guys think about Jerry Judy? Is he worth a start tonight? We already talked a little bit about Cortland Sutton.
I think I had Jerry Judy on my starts. Yes, I did have him on my starts. It's mostly because we're choosing between, like, if you're asking me, should I start Jerry Judy tonight? Your other options have to be, I assume, Mike Boone and Josh Palmer or something like that.
And in which case you would do it.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to think of with my start sits is like, who are people actually thinking about starting and sitting over one another? Because there are so few decisions left to be made on the week. And I would take him over everyone in this game that isn't blatantly obvious. Like, obviously I'm not taking him over Austin Eckler, but anyone you're choosing between him and Jerry Judy, to me, it's going to be Jerry Judy. I think like I said, I'm still sort of hopeful that the Broncos can sort of pull something together, even if they make less mistakes, just to capture more of the big play magic. Like maybe they don't stop making mistakes, but we do see some of that big play magic. And Jerry Judy's clearly operating as the second receiver, was second on the team in receiver routes last week. So in a game in a game that Vegas at least expects them to lose, I think you want to be playing Jerry Judy in the flex over anyone that isn't obvious.
Any opinion, Lawrence?
Yeah, saying we like you said, we don't got much to choose from here.
Yeah. I'll give a shout out to Adrian Sanchez here. Go Warriors! NBA season starts tomorrow, baby. Any chance I get on the Warriors live, I'll be taking them tomorrow because the Lakers, like the Broncos, you got to prove to me you're good, before I back you. But we'll see what happens there. You guys got a favorite NBA team?
Yeah, definitely. Atlanta Hawks all the way. Trae Young, I expect to see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. My off team, I just kind of go wherever KD go. Where right now that's the Nets. So hopefully they could get it together. They got whooped last year in the first round, but I'm definitely excited for opening NBA night tomorrow for sure.
How about you, Kyle?
I like the Hornets because my DK rep has sent me to a few Hornets games, so I chose to like them.
I got a couple of fantasy basketball teams that I've been drafting over the past few days. So I had to recruit some people to kind of help me run it since we kind of in the middle of football season.
I do not know a single thing about basketball right now.
That's how I am about baseball. Well, I know something about it, but I will not put my eyes on no baseball.
No, I hate baseball.
Yeah, baseball season was insane this year, but the playoffs have been pretty cool, though. I was hoping to see some Yankees-Guardians action tonight, but looks like it's probably going to get rained out.
Hold on right here. We got Mateo right here disrespecting the cornerback position. I can't let you do that, Mateo. Cornerback is the hardest position, probably besides quarterback, to play. You have to predict what a man going to do while running backwards. And he know what he going to do. We ain't going to disrespect the corners, especially one like Patrick Surtain too, baby.
Or pass cornerback like Vaughn Dalzell, baby. We're not going to talk about that.
I know you was getting mossed out there, Vaughn.
Yo, you need to relax. There's only been 2 moss balls thrown on me. One,
only 2?
I should have came down with it. His name was Asta. It was like
Austin Eckler.
It was
Asta La Vista, Vaughn.
I was 6'5". We were beating this team 48-0, and they tried to throw a fade on me. Not up in here.
6'5", you got to jump higher.
I did. I dropped the pick. It was I was like Taylor hands back then. And then the other one, I'm not gonna lie, though, we played Aliquippa, Darrell Reeves' high school at Heinz Field. 30-yard fade route. It was the best pass I've ever seen thrown in person on me. Dude caught it right over his shoulder. Guy pushed me out of bounds. So I was pretty upset. I got up pushing other people on the other team. They told me to chill out. So I'm getting mad thinking about it. Justin Herbert, can he get 20 points today? What do you guys think?
He probably projects for like 22.
Can a baby cry?
Can a baby cry? Can Sutton get 15 points? That's a little tougher than the Herbert question.
Yeah, definitely a little tougher. I think in full PPR he does get it, but it's a lot closer.
Lawrence, Denver tight end. Who's the move?
I would like Kyle said earlier, I'll go Greg Dulcich, just right off the rip. Don't just do it and don't look back. Sourburn. This floor small. We know Albert O. I was looking at their depth chart a little earlier. He 4th on it now, so we don't have to worry about. We ain't got to worry about that no more. It looked like the Broncos excited to get Greg Dulcich back, so he could pay immediate dividends, kind of like week 1 where Andrew Beck came out 52 yards out on the first drive, and we was like, "Who the hell is this?" So we'll see. But which Denver tight end to start that's not the rookie?
I mean, I assume this
no
person,
more Dulcich. Everyone's out on him.
Well, I assume this person is like, oh, I had Albert O, and I didn't realize Dulcich was coming back. If it's not the rookie, I would still go Saubert over Beck. Beck is like a H-back. He's the tight end fullback hybrid. His floor is legit 0-0-0 everything. Saubert should play 20.
What you doing having Denver tight ends, man?
Yeah, you should have. I assume that was the situation.
It clearly ain't DFS because he said, "Well, I can't do Dulcich." So
that's what it said. Yeah.
This one cracked me up because I saw this and was dying. I also saw, I don't know if you guys ever saw Barstool does like the Sunday conversations with people, but they did one with Boban Marjanovic, and they asked him, is there more 7-foot players or white players in the NBA? And he was cracking up. But this was like the same type of question here, in my opinion, when they were like, they was like name white cornerbacks, and they couldn't.
Well, it's a lot of white dudes in the NBA, but white
exactly.
corners.
White corners is like the rarest thing. Like people were
the
saying,
first thing you
Jason
think about is Jason
Sehorn.
Sehorn, because like he like the white cornerback GOAT. But
more,
yeah, I heard that clip with the Kelsey brothers. They said it. One of them said it. It was probably Travis, since he is a receiver. He's like cornerback, the hardest position over there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. Cornerback is tough. But safer play over under for this game. It's the same VIG on both, which means the same type of value. I'd probably take the over 37.5, honestly.
Me too. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I like the chances the Chargers get to 20 points. The Broncos.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Any game that the Chargers play in, I feel like there's a very safe floor of offense, of literally points to be scored. Obviously, you need at least a little bit from the Broncos here, but I find that to be a far safer play. I agree.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think they can get there, though. I think that's the way to play it, especially if you're teasing this game. If you're teasing this game, I think teasing the total down and taking the over, and then teasing the Broncos back to +10, +11. That's probably the way to go about this game here. Would you start Gordon or Sutton?
I said Sutton, assuming it was full PPR. I said Sutton, but I think Lawrence, you said Gordon. I don't have a strong opinion.
Yeah, me either. It's like
Vaughn, you got to break our tie.
Yeah, break the tie.
Sutton
it is.
Sutton. I don't like Melvin Gordon whatsoever, man.
Yeah, like you if you pick either guy in this matchup, we ain't gonna yell at you.
Yeah, I agree here. This one's tough. Trying to get some tight ends. Dalton Schultz. You guys have any opinions on any of the Cowboys guys coming back with now that Dak's back? Any opinion on them? Schultz, all these receivers.
I like Michael Gallup to get a nice little bump once Dak get back, because Michael Gallup is a baller. He signed that deal in the offseason like for $12 million a year. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, that's a steal right there. When he get Dak back, which he's already had an 1,100-yard season under his belt, he gonna do a little something. So I'll definitely speak on Michael Gallup. I've been sitting on him in fantasy, waiting for Dak to get back. So we'll see soon enough.
Yeah, his target share numbers are looking pretty solid too for a quarterback that like doesn't really have a ton of business starting Michael Gallup. You'd think like the way Gallup plays, like a good like deep ball outside type of guy. You don't want Cooper Rush throwing those balls too often, but he is still, despite that, maintained a solid target share. This guy is saying that Schultz got scratched last night, so he's saying that and he missed up picking Ferguson, who that would have been it. Though I think I was like looking up Peyton Hendershot's stats right before, because Hendershot, I think the last time this
Peyton Hendershots, I remember we talked about Peyton Hendershots.
And I believe he outscored what's his face the first time this happened. Obviously, it was not close last night. Ferguson was the one who outscored him. So you're stuck with Eric Saubert, is what I think. What would
be funny about this is if somebody picked up Ferguson just so Jose Rios couldn't get him. If he did that, like that's the pro fantasy move right there.
His opponent right now should be doing that with Saubert. Yeah. You could, I believe he's active tonight. I will triple check this. Donald Parham, he is active. I know he's active tonight. Donald Parham, he didn't run a lot. I don't know if he ran any round. But he is a dude who I think between him and Eric Saubert, who is more likely to score a touchdown, it's Donald freaking Parham. That's all that guy does.
Yeah. You and these tight ends, man. I agree here with Kevin. Melvin's a fumble away from being benched, dude. It's incredible. He's just getting his snap share taken back 5-10%.
I wish he would stop running with the ball like this, like it's 1982.
He has to.
It's taken away from how well he could actually run the ball.
Can't pump the arms.
Yeah, no, man, dude. You can't run around like you got a
he's
loaf
in a straight jacket.
I just mentioned, do babies cry? He looked like he stole a baby out the thing when they born. Like he just running away. No, man, get your, high and tight like Tiki Barber used to do.
Oh, Tiki Barber, legend, Giants legend. He'd have took them. Man, Saquon Barkley and Tiki Barber, definitely the two best Giants running backs in NFL history. Couldn't name another one, to be honest with you, though. Brandon Jacobs, number 3.
Otis Anderson.
Oh, that's throwing it way back. I was not.
Yeah.
You might not have been born then. You could guys think about Denver on the money line, plus 185 odds here. Lou said that's what he's got. Crazy Gideon thinking about it tonight. I don't think why not. We saw the underdogs.
I'm with that. I'm with that. That's kind of where I'm leaning on this game, man. For the reasons I named earlier, Broncos, they gotta have it. What happened last week, that's out the window. That's old news. We saw it with the Colts. They were just as bad as the Broncos, and they turned out 34 points against an up-and-coming Jacksonville Jaguars team. This Chargers defense and just team as a whole, you could be, there's reason you could be opportunistic versus this team. So the Chargers could even get ahead, but you can always come back. That team is, it's up for the taking, and it's a divisional game. Maybe we finally get the AFC West we thought we were supposed to get when Russell Wilson came to the Broncos.
And last year it was a smackdown when these two teams met in LA. Denver, for some reason, doesn't score much or do particularly very well in Los Angeles or San Diego, which has been weird because we've always joked how the Chargers have had no fan attendance. They've had no real home field advantage. But last year, 34-13. The past couple ones before that, like you said, it could be a tight game. It was 19-16, 20-13, 23-22, all in LA. So this definitely is a spot where the Broncos have to have it. I like this one from Connor here. First half over 9.5 points for the Broncos, averaging 14.5 on the road this year. I don't hate it. You need a quick start. I'm on the full game under for the Broncos at 20.5, but if they go over the first half team total, I can kiss that bet goodbye. But I'm kind of thinking I'm going to know by the second quarter if I won my bet or not. Do you guys have any opinion on the Broncos first half?
Nothing strong. I mean, I like them in this game on the whole, and I do like them to be scoring points. They're I get their defense is good, but in the way the NFL is constructed in its modern iteration is that unless the defense is a true world beater defense, a quarterback as good as Justin Herbert is going to get there. So to me, if the Broncos win this game, it's because they have to put up a decent amount of points. So.
Yeah, we didn't see, like I said, we didn't see many favorites cover yesterday, but we didn't see many favorites win. We're talking about favorites. I mean, the Colts, the Vikings, the Rams, the Bills, and the Eagles. That about counts it up for all the teams that won as favorites yesterday. So could still be an underdog week, in my opinion. Week 6 is not over. This one is hurtful, though. Jackson and Murray so overrated. I think he's talking about Lamar Jackson, which
this is not
wild.
Hurtful. This is not hurtful at all. People like Luce is cool, man. You just gotta watch a little more football, learn a little more. That's why you gotta keep watching these shows like this. Murray, you might have a point.
I was gonna say,
Murray, you might have something there.
Jackson's dealing though, man. He is
there's something. The Ravens. Look at this, right? They gained over 400 yards of total offense. They had 23 first downs to the Giants' 18. But the thing is, they had 79 penalty yards. The Giants only had 235 yards of offense. They're having trouble finishing games just overall as a team. But Lamar Jackson, his last 2 possessions was definitely horrible. You can't do that when you the guy. And I can say, I will say that about my favorite player. That was horrific. You cannot do that. But overall, you might be on to something with Kyle Murray because they offense is just in quicksand. They can't run, and they just on a treadmill, just running in place. How you can't score no touchdown versus Seahawks?
Yeah, that's bad, man. I was on the Cardinals team total over. I know a lot of sharps were on the Cardinals plus 2.5 or minus 2.5. I just didn't understand that at all. The first quarter, they finally get that first quarter point. Everyone's excited for the Cardinals. First time they scored in the first quarter all season. And that was pretty much the hype of the whole game for them. So that was wild. Kyle, any opinion on this? Josie Jewell being out. Who? But is Austin Eckler shooing for 60-plus yards?
I do know who Josie Jewell is. I was actually going to say I knew he's a big run stuffy interior linebacker. I was maybe it was the Melvin Gordon stuff. I was 99% 99% sure he went to Wisconsin. No, different Midwest school. Apparently he went to Iowa. To me, like, I was saying that I think like we sort of lose ourselves in the sauce of saying, oh, well, what about this cornerback matchup? But at the end of the day, like, Mike Williams is a good receiver. He gets a lot of targets. That's what we want to be betting on, not what is admittedly a difficult cornerback matchup. If we're looking at these interior linebacker takes, maybe like in 20 years when the game, like, DFS or season long is so hard to beat that you have to be like, Magnus Carlsen, chess grandmaster, but of DFS but of fantasy in general, these are the types of things you'll be looking at. But I really don't care at this point. I know who he is. I do promise you, I know who he is. But a little bit too much in the weeds to sway me.
I like how he put that question though. Would Josie draw out is Eckler? Because it's like, oh, now that Eckler's freed up, can he finally do that? I saw.
It feels like you were looking for a reason to bet on Eckler, and you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah, Zappy over Brady, no question about it. Already. We don't need to see if he retired tomorrow.
They'd expedite the process. Wouldn't be 5 years until you get his golden jacket. They'd have it shipped overnight like Amazon.
Yeah, then there'll be 25 in the Hall of Fame.
Ricardo's not with you, Mr. Bubbles. He says
somebody said that rich Denver fans is gonna travel to the game. I saw that pop up on the screen.
I mean, it's not all that far away. Like, it's definitely, less than a day's travel for sure. It's by, I think, 4 or 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, I don't know. Who's traveling to go see Russell Wilson play right now?
I'm about to say the current state of them. Who going out? I mean, so far, nice though.
Yeah. Jose, us three do not have a show. We do Thursdays and Mondays before the 2 primetime games. Matthew Berry has the Sunday show on Peacock, but these 2 guys have their own stuff going on. So why don't you guys drop that real quick for Jose?
Thursdays.
Go ahead.
Thursdays. Me, Pat, and Denny have the Thursday preview show. It'll be out late Thursday, or if not, Friday morning. Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow already? Me. I don't know. Like, people just tell me what time to show up to things, and I show up to them. Tomorrow, you, me, and Pat will be doing a show, and we'll be talking about our initial look at the, week 7 now ranking. So that's where you can find me.
And that'll be at 1 p.m., Jose, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Well, we record at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It come out a little bit after that.
Yeah. We got a Jets fan here. Rather have talent all over the field than a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. I wonder. That's not a question. That's a statement. That's a statement that as a Jets fan,
talent all over the field rather than.
Would you rather have? I saw this question on Twitter. Would you rather have? I think it's a good way to put it. Is would you rather have an offense with 3 really good receivers and a bad quarterback, or a good quarterback and 3 really bad receivers? I think he's talking more about the construction of the team, but I do think.
I would rather have the team. I mean, we just saw the Giants win, but.
And we just saw Aaron Rodgers lose. Aaron Rodgers probably still has the physical
there you go.
The mind.
And the quarterback didn't have to do much. So, I'd rather take the team, but I'd do that with almost any quarterback. But the way the league works and how they think and feel is different than you and I, Prime. That's probably why we here and they there, I guess. A quarterback at the right time in the right situation is going to make a difference, no doubt. And that's what you can't deny.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the way we see, like, even the middle tier of quarterbacks, your Kirk Cousins, your Derek Carrs, these type of guys who, like, they're perfectly fine. They're a pretty safe bet to get you to 6 to 7 wins. I would not be surprised if those guys go out of style in the next few years, as opposed to taking, like, more, I'll call them wild shots on guys like Lamar and Jalen Hurts are 2 great examples of successful ventures of this, where, like, was Lamar the 31st overall pick, and then Jalen Hurts somewhere in the 2nd round. It's 32nd. Like, those are not guys that have good hit rates, but when they do hit, they go nuts, as we're seeing. And if you can get that to happen early in their career to where you're not paying them that much, it's such an advantage over having Kirk Cousins making, like, what is he making, like $30 million a year? At this point, it looks like it's an advantage over having Aaron Rodgers making $50 million. So I still think we're not like advanced enough in the way that the NFL thinks.
The least amount of mobility you'll be able to have at quarterback is going to be Daniel Jones.
Yep.
That'll be the least mobile you'll be able to be really soon.
That's a good point. We have to give a shout out because I said I was going to do it on Twitter a couple days ago. Our Thursday show, usually we're joined by FFB legend on Thursdays. Doesn't seem like he's in the chat today. Like I said, usually Thursdays, but Dante Pettis, he called it. First touchdown scorer at 45-1 odds. We showed it on the screen. We said, I don't know, man, pretty crazy, but he did that. And he also threw in the Chicago Bears to get 2+ sacks in that game in the parlay too. So yeah, definitely like that one too. So shout out to FFB legend on Twitter. We appreciate you for always joining us. We appreciate Ricardo and all the people on here. Only preview show I watched all season. And for Kevin, you'll be able to find them. It's on the NBC on NFL YouTube channel, right? This one, exactly. So.
All of those shows that we do during the day. Just if you subscribe to this YouTube and then you get the Roto World app, those will all pop up every time the shows are starting. So you'll be able to check out everything there. If
you don't have the Roto app app, whatever, I can't even say it. My God. You got to download it. Just go download it. Whatever it's called. You know what it's called already. But we're going to give out our quick bets here. Start and sit-downs. We got 5 minutes left. I do want to point out Tua's coming back against my Steelers. Tua will be loose.
That same guy who just said Tua a lot, this dude must be looking at my stuff all the time because he said so. What's the chance you say something bad about Lamar and Tua within 5 minutes?
Those are your boys. Those are your ride or dies this year.
And Tua gonna light them boys up. You better get a blanket, Vaughn, and put it over your face. You don't want to watch that.
I had to my teaser over the weekend, so I'm watching the Steelers game. My family's texting me like, "Here we go, Steelers! I can't believe they're gonna do it." I'm just like, I put my phone on airplane mode. I'm like, leave me alone. I hate my favorite team. But run through these real quick for you guys. They both have Austin Eckler as the highest score prediction player tonight. Lawrence got Melvin Gordon as a stardom. Kyle saying sit Mike Boone, so there's a little beat between the two. And then Jerry Judy as the stardom. Guys, run through your player props tonight, your favorite bets. Whoever wants to start, the floor is yours.
So I'll go Cortland Sutton over 66.5 receiving yards tonight. He's done that in 4 of his 5 games so far. In the game he didn't do it, he had 52. So give me that there. I'm going to fade the Jerry Judy 51.5 and go under. He did go over that the past 2 games, but it was 53 yards each time, and he had 2 long catches on each of those. So those are my 2 right there.
Yeah, I have Melvin Gordon over 2.5 receptions plus 120. We saw last week they did split the work in the backfield in terms of both targets and routes, but Melvin Gordon saw, I believe it was 3 targets, and he ran more routes than Mike Boone. And this is another game I expect them to be playing from behind, in which case we've seen Russell Wilson target his running backs out of the backfield at one of the highest rates of his career. So we'll keep betting on their running backs to get there through the air, even if I'm so on them as like fantasy plays tonight. Prop to fade, Russell Wilson, longest run under 8.5 yards minus 105. To me, we've seen Russell Wilson, I believe, exactly split this so far this year, but he's done it mostly against teams when they get pressure against him. He did it against like the 49ers and one of the other. The Colts are above average in pressure rate now, and he did it against them. The Chargers are below average in pressure rate, and that's fueled by the good part of it, the part where they're not terrible, is fueled by having Joey Bosa early in the season and not having him anymore. And we also saw Khalil Mack more productive early in the season, probably because it's easy to be productive when Joey Bosa is across the field from you. So I like Russell Wilson clean pocket in this game, not getting a lot of runs.
Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson wants to run much in his career much anymore, and I don't think the coaching wants him to either. I did hear some people argue about why isn't Russell Wilson running more, and I'm just like,
dude, he's like 30 some odd years old.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. Like Tom Brady wants to run more than Russell Wilson does. Trust me.
Hey, for the record, for that dude that was hating on Lamar, when Lamar is 33, he's still gonna be running just like this. Just to let you know.
Yeah, Lamar will still be getting boogie. We saw Michael Vick, man. Michael Vick came to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh yeah.
And he was getting boogie still. I loved Michael Vick. He couldn't throw a football for the lick, but he could run. So I love that. But yeah, I'm on the Broncos team total under 20.5. It's just a situation where I'm gonna continue fading this offense until they prove it. And I do think the Chargers rushing defense is better than the numbers say on paper after we talked about who they played so far this season. So we have a couple seconds here. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Give a shout out to Zach. Give a shout out to Luce for coming through with the crazy comments tonight. Give a shout out to Crazy Gideon. Kevin, he's always had the Roto World app. Now I could say it. John, Ricardo, all you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you follow Kyle on Twitter at Kyle Tweets Here. He just won 20,000. He's the big roller of the group right here. And then make sure you follow Lord Don't Lose. That's Lawrence Jackson on Twitter. But don't disrespect him when it comes to Lamar Jackson or Tua. Tag him below.
Y'all entitled to y'all's just like I am.
That's right.
So it's all good, baby.
That's right. That's the best part about it, man. So we'll see you guys on Thursday. It'll be another great game. Cardinals, Saints, the return of DeAndre Hopkins, worldwide hop. Make sure you get your touchdown bets in on him soon, your first touchdown scores, because that's what we're going to be on. Well, at least myself. So we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the game tonight.